If you're like me and have an older vehicle, you might be missing out on one of those cool new features that basically every new car has nowadays, which is Apple CarPlay and Android Auto. The really cool feature on all those really cool fancy dashboards that enable you to connect automatically to your iOS or Android device and then get all of your favorite apps, turn-by-turn navigation, being able to send and receive phone calls and messages automatically, and playback audio with nice visuals as well. It's a joy, to be honest with you, because every time I rent a car, I love it. It's made me super jealous. In fact, I have an older smart car from 2009, so it doesn't have anything at all. No dash, no USB input, no Bluetooth, nothing at all, just an aux in. So that is why I decided to put this thing right here, a 7-inch little display that has Android Auto and CarPlay built in, plus all of that Bluetooth connected goodness. So I want to break down this $40 device and see if it's any good. So let's get into it. All right, let's do a little unboxing first. The smart navigation system has all the things, all the buzzwords, CarPlay, Android Auto, things like that. And then it has a bunch of features that we'll talk about here in a little bit, but it does have a touchscreen, which is nice, obviously. It has USB in. This says maps, but it's not actually maps at all. You know what I mean? It's just in CarPlay. It does have this camera in, so this one doesn't come with a backup camera, but you could buy a backup camera separate, or some of them that are on Amazon also come with a backup camera. Let's get into it, and of course we have an instruction book. This is very nifty. There's a lot of different little features, and it's actually a decent owner's manual, I would say. I actually did find it relatively useful to have as a reference, so not bad, which I did appreciate. Here it is. It is a very, very shiny display, which is you'll see throughout the entire video basically. But it does have two backfiring speakers, and it has an input for the mount. Here it has the audio out. It has a camera, USB, memory card, and then the power. On the other side is nothing. There's just little areas and little crevices to attach the little frame that we'll talk about here to block out the sun. Here's the power cord. There's a bunch of different ones out there, but this one has its own DC in and has two USB on it. I kind of go back and forth. I kind of wish that it was just USB in, but you know, fine. Here's the mount rack that you can go ahead and put onto your car, and then this go ahead and then attaches in, which is nice. You can attach it to your windshield, or you can attach it to the dash. This is for the backup camera, so if you do have a backup camera that's compatible, it would go ahead and put it in there. Then it also comes with a little 3.5 millimeter jack, which is nice, so you can do that to your aux. And then finally, that's for the mount. And then this is the visor. So the visor is nice, so if it is very sunny, it'll block it out, and you can just add it on there, which is cool. So overall, nice little package. So let's go ahead and unveil this. And yes, not only is the sheet very shiny, but also the device is super shiny as well. So you can see me directly in it, and there is my camera as well. So awesome. Okay, so let's do a little comparison here. I actually have my Nintendo Switch over here. This is the original Nintendo Switch with no Joy-Cons, obviously, but you can see it's nearly the same exact size, which is fascinating. It's a little bit thicker though, because it has the additional speakers and things like that in it. Which is nice, but it's pretty much the same size. So if you have a Nintendo Switch, that is exactly how big it is. The screen is just a tad bit bigger on this device and has some buttons on the front as well. And we'll talk about those buttons here in a second, which is quite a nice little touch. Okay, let's get into the software. So again, it's super shiny, but once I turn it on, it won't be as shiny. But here, what I'm going to do is, since this is powered in a car, I'm not going to go into my car to do it, which we will in a little bit here. I actually bought an adapter on Amazon, so I can just plug this into the wall. So I can actually do this video. It's much more nifty than having it on my battery in my car being all shaky. So I'm just going to plug this in, and we will go ahead and plug this in to power it on. There we go. It actually boots up really, really quick. I'm really surprised. It just takes a few seconds. It has this cool car thing. The colors in this video, I don't know if the pixel that I'm recording on, something's up with the colors, but the colors are way off. So we'll see another video here of the actual colors, but they're way better than this. They're more vivid here, but the touchscreen is really responsive. It's actually overall pretty nice, I would say. It has lots of different features. You can turn on and off or just increase or decrease the volume, which is really nice to do. And then of course you can scroll around, go into the settings here. Settings are pretty straightforward. You have some different thing for if you do the backup camera, you have some different equalizers for the audio. You can change the brightness and the contrast ratios, things like that of the screen, which is kind of nice. And then you can adjust the date, which is kind of hard to see here with the colors, but trust me, it's there. And of course, you can even pick a background color photo as well if you want to. So that's all set up there, which is cool. Now, the first thing that we're going to do is just test out some features. So let's check out USB. I don't have anything plugged in. So I'm going to plug in this USB drive that just has an audio file and video file on it. And we'll give it a go. So you just literally plug it in and it loads it up. And I'll let the audio play back here so you can get an idea of what the speakers sound like. And you can toggle to audio. But yeah, it just kind of plays. It's not the most beautiful UI in the world, but it definitely works inside of here. So you have like, random and loop and all the things that you would expect. And if you had photos, you could do photo frame as well. All right. So that's just the overall USB drive. So let's go ahead and take that out. And we can also then test the SD card. So again, I don't have anything plugged in. I'm going to do the same exact thing that I did before, which is the micro SD card slot. So I'm just literally going to plug that in. And sure enough, once you plug it in, it's going to load up. It just seems to autoplay here. I've muted the audio since you've already kind of heard it once, but you get the idea. Basically, it has this nice little playback selector, big buttons. So when you're driving, you want to play back music, you can do that. So if you download it there. Now, I've muted the audio, but if you want the audio out, you would just plug this audio in there, which is great. And then that would plug into your aux of your car. And that's how I have it set up in the car currently. And then it's totally good to go, which is great. All right, when you plug it out, you take it out, you're done. So here I have this aux going out, but also you could plug this in to the FM. So for example, this could broadcast the audio over FM. You have to turn this on, but you select a station, you tune that on your tuner, and then it would transmit the audio over. Now there are some other features that I'll get into a little bit later. There's audio link and iOS mirroring, which I never could get working, but apparently those are options. But let's try out CarPlay. This is the main feature, CarPlay or Android Auto, that you're probably going to use. And you can do this wired or wireless. And I think I like wired more, but wireless is nice to have. But let's test out wired first. So I just have my iPhone here. So if you just have any iPhone, you can just plug it in via the Lightning cable or USB cable based on your iPhone, and then just plug in a normal USB cable here. Let me just get it the right way. And that should just start up on your phone. It's probably going to ask you if you want to connect to CarPlay and give any permissions, and you can just go ahead and do that. And sure enough, there's CarPlay on your device, which is great if you've never seen CarPlay. So basically some of the apps that are compatible via the CarPlay, so like Google Maps, Apple Maps, Pocket Cast here, for example, or Apple Podcasts. I have YouTube Music on here, Sirius XM. Basically, you can just navigate everything from the screen, so you don't actually have to go back and forth to your device, which is super duper nice. So I'm not going to pull up different maps or anything like that. Just I don't want to dox myself over here, but you can start navigation on your phone, or you can start it on here, and it'll both work accordingly well. So here's my Sirius XM, for example, and I can see all the different things that I have listened to as well, which is kind of cool. So you get these nice displays, and it's going to work exactly the same as Android Auto. So if you had an Android device as well, so you get Android Auto version of it. That car home button just takes you back to the home screen, or you can hit the home button as well. And of course, if you unplug it, sure enough, it goes away. So it just goes right back to the screen. Now for the setup for wireless CarPlay, let's actually head to my car. I actually did set it up over there. So you actually see the colors a little bit better here. So I wanted to kind of show this. I actually did go into my car and I set it up over there. So it's a weird camera angle, but you can kind of see the background colors a little bit better in general. But this is what the mount would look like. It's all mounted up, and I have the audio coming out as well, which is nice. So for wireless CarPlay, you want to just connect to the Bluetooth. I think it is Bluetooth and Wi-Fi magic. I don't know, but basically you go into your iPhone, and then you will want to connect to the Bluetooth network of this car, which is car BT 2030 or something like that. And then it does show you the Wi-Fi name, which you don't really need to connect to the Wi-Fi, which is okay. But basically it's just sitting here, and it's going to wait for the connection to happen. So the first thing I did was I selected it, and then it's going to Bluetooth pair. So it gives me the code, totally good to go. It asks me if I want to allow contacts and favorites. So I just say no, because I never do that on my cars. And then the last thing it's going to do is try to connect. And then it will also ask for CarPlay permission. And this is important too, because basically you're authorizing this CarPlay device with your phone. And then boom, just like that, you are good to go, and it will load up automatically, and it will have wireless CarPlay, so you don't need any other wires. There are already 2 wires going on here, which is cool. And I'm going to blur out the screen here so you don't see exactly where I live. But yeah, you just get wireless CarPlay just like you would have it before. So that's super duper cool. And you can go into other applications just like the wired one. Now, if you plug in your device and you just turn it on, it'll automatically connect. If you had your Bluetooth off, for example, you can connect to that Bluetooth automatically, and then it will automatically reconnect. So when you turn on your car, it will pretty much automatically connect. If your Bluetooth is on, it'll try to connect automatically, and it'll launch CarPlay or Android Auto automatically, and it'll just go right into it. So it works fairly well in that regard, and you're totally good to go. So that is one nice thing in general about it, is if you are having your car on and off, it'll automatically just reconnect like you would expect. So nothing too crazy there, which is kind of cool. So that's pretty much it for CarPlay, I would say. And the same thing for Android Auto is you can pop in and out of these different applications if you want to, which is nice. Now, one thing about this is that you can, of course, connect to Bluetooth directly. So you could just stream Bluetooth audio, which is nice. Now, if you're connected to CarPlay via wireless, you actually have to disconnect that. And I did that by hitting the Wi-Fi button and disconnecting from CarPlay. I will still be connected to Bluetooth, but not CarPlay. And then I see my actual iPhone in here, and I can connect and disconnect from that automatically, which is nice. So this would allow me to stream music over Bluetooth or anything else that I wanted. I could make phone calls. I could take calls, obviously. I could do whatever I wanted in normal Bluetooth fashion, which is kind of nice to have. Now, if I wanted to reconnect to the CarPlay, I'd have to disconnect this Bluetooth and then go back to the CarPlay and do that again. So it is a little bit tedious that you can't be connected to both at the same time, but it's relatively easy to do that. If you wanted to, you could just completely disconnect the CarPlay Wi-Fi or wireless mode directly and only do wired, and that would kind of streamline it too. All right, so I have been driving around with this now for a while. So now that we've gone through all the features and the compatibilities, what do I actually think? Well, this little device, it's kind of awesome, to be honest with you. Now, do I think it's like the best piece of hardware ever built as far as like thinness and as far as features and UI goes? Absolutely not, but it was $40. Now, there are tons of these all over Amazon, and I had to search my way through all of these different directories to find them. And yes, they're on AliExpress and they're on all these other websites. So it's not like it's unique. It's not like there's a manufacturer out there making these and being like, this is the de facto one. But in general, this one in general for $40 seems to be a joy. Now, like I said, I've been driving around a lot with this, even though I don't even need to drive sometimes. I'm just like, I want to go out, test it out automatically. I set it up originally with the wireless part, and that I thought would be really neat just because, I don't know, wireless, get in my car and go. And what I found is that it works pretty well. It connects to Bluetooth really, really fast, and it starts to display things. I've had some weird connection issues back and forth where I'd have to actually start the navigation on my phone or music playback on my phone to get it working the first time. Like, it's navigating the UI, but it's not actually going through. So it seemed like once I did that once and it was okay. It was a little bit odd, but I think actually probably connecting up via the USB is a better option, in my opinion. More cords, unfortunately, but I think that's nice because then if you're sharing a car with a partner or someone else, if you're driving around, it's not going to try to connect up both of the devices, which is always a problem when you have a car and multiple Bluetooth devices. So that is really nice. I haven't got to test out Android Auto because I'm mostly an iOS user, but I have to imagine it works exactly the same, just like the iOS one did. There's a bunch of other features as well that are built in that seem unnecessary. So for example, being able to play like audio and video via the micro SD card, or even the AirPlay, like that's fine, but I'm not really sure when or how I'm going to use that in any capacity at all. So I feel like honestly, just have they streamlined that experience a little bit more, I would have liked it. Like I said, I've been driving around. I do like it. I do like this little visor that's built in. Some of them have it, some of them don't. This actually pops off if you don't want it. So you can just pop this on and off like I showed in the unboxing. This one here does have physical buttons, and I actually do like that to go home and the volume up and down. And there is a microphone built in. So while you can connect up automatically via Bluetooth, if you are using that and once you're in CarPlay, you do have to disconnect to actually connect to the other one. And it feels very odd as far as like connecting to CarPlay and not connecting to CarPlay. So I do think the wired mode maybe is a little bit better. But again, if you're just going to use it for CarPlay 100% or Android Auto 100%, then I think this is a pretty good option overall. It does turn your car into sort of a cool new smart car, even though I do have a smart car that's there. For me, this has been a joy because, like I said, my smart car doesn't have anything but an audio in, an aux jack, just a 3.5 millimeter. So there was no Bluetooth or anything else. So for me, this has really enabled me to listen to more music in the car and, of course, get more navigation instead of just my phone being there. All right, well, that's going to do it for this sort of unboxing and review of this. For $40, it's a steal, in my opinion. You can't really pass it up. And if it doesn't work for you some reason, you can always send it back, I guess, and try a different one. And there are tons of these. I'll link to the one specifically that I purchased. It was $50 on sale for $40, but there's a bunch more out there as well. The main things you'll want to look for are the different inputs, such as the camera, USB, and then the different inputs and outputs for audio. Some of them have USB, some of them don't. Some of them have the camera in, some of them don't. Like I said, I don't have a backup camera that is compatible with this, even though I have a backup camera, so I didn't get to test that out in general. So there's a lot of features built in here, but hopefully that gives you a good overview. If you have questions about it, leave them down in the comments below, and thanks for watching.